Hold up. No, not that, John Wick. Sorry to disappoint you if you're looking for that movie star John Wick, but my name is John Wick, and I'll be your son or daughter's 7th grade social studies teacher this year. We'll be hanging out in room 216. Over the course of the next couple minutes, I'm going to walk you through what they're going to do with me this school year. You know it, you love it, you can't live without it. We start off the school year looking at money. The kids are going to take a look at ways in which to make their money grow. Now, many of us have grown up with the banks and interest rates, so we'll take a look at simple interest and compound interest that a bank will give us. We'll also look at a term called liquid, which means you can take money in and out of the bank whenever you want to. We'll move on to a certificate of deposit, which gives you a little better interest rate, but is not liquid. Then we'll also talk about bonds, giving our money to the government, with again, not very liquid, but a good return. I'll tell a long story about my Uncle Larry and the Great Depression and hiding money under the mattress and what that does. But this all leads to buying stock in companies. We're going to get the kids into a stock market year. We'll see how the stock market kind of works out. We're going to create a company. We're going to have them buy shares. Then the kids are going to get their money, not real money, mind you, monopoly money, and get a chance to create a portfolio. And throughout the course of the year, we're going to come back and see which one of our kiddos is the best investor and see who makes the most money as the 2021-22 school year goes along. So that will take us through September and into October to get us rolling. Finish up the first segment of economics, we jump into government and who rules. Who rules on a lot of different levels. We'll talk Shrek and, onions have layers. We'll look at East Troy. We'll look at Walworth County. We'll even look at the state of Wisconsin and maybe have this fellow right here, Cody Horlacher, former student of mine, who is also a state representative, talk about the lawmaking process in the state of Wisconsin. We'll make sure to take a little bit of time going over who controls what at the state, the local, and the federal level, so we get a better idea of where to focus our energies, especially as we become adults. We'll spend most of our time, however, on the federal government, the one created by the Constitution of the United States. The one that starts out with "We the people." We'll take a look at what our forefathers did in order to gain their independence from England, and then the ideas they had to kick around in order to create the Constitution that we have today. We'll focus on the 3 branches of government created in Articles 1, 2, and 3 of our Constitution. The first article, which creates the legislative or lawmaking branch. We'll look at Congress, where we have Brian Stile here in District 1, as well as our senators Ron Johnson and Tammy Baldwin. We'll take a look at what the lawmaking branch is responsible for. Then we'll move on to the executive branch as President Joe Biden, created by Article 2. We'll take a look at the White House. We'll take a look at all the executive powers and all the executive offices. I think the kids will be amazed at all the number of things the cabinet positions are really in charge of for the president. We'll also take a quick peek at the Electoral College and the whole election process. Try and keep that as cleaned up as we can for the kids. Take a look at how many electoral votes each state has, and the magic number being 270 and how they get there. And then we'll move on to Article 3, which creates the judicial branch and our 9 Supreme Court justices, which serve for life. And we'll take a look at some of the landmark Supreme Court cases and see some of the just amazing decisions that our Supreme Court has had to make. And the kids will have a research project there as we get to that one as well. After we wrap up the 3 articles and the powers of the branches, we'll continue on with the Constitution and we'll look at the amendments, the Bill of Rights. Those much talked about first 10 amendments, freedom of speech, press, assembly, religion, the right to bear arms, police need a search warrant, all those things that go there in individual rights given to American citizens in the first 10 amendments. We'll take a look at what our forefathers meant when they put them in, how they've changed over the years, and how we interpret them today, and how we're still continuing to interpret them today, which is some pretty amazing stuff and some great conversations in class. After we get to the first 10 amendments, we'll carry on amendments 11 through 27. And that will generally wrap up the government portion of the year, right, hopefully, knock on wood, somewhere around February. We'll then turn it right back around and get into economics to wrap things up the year. As we get back into economics, we're going to look at some basic supply and demand. What causes prices to rise and fall? Is it economic policies? Is it supply and demand? Well, we'll have that discussion. We'll see how it works. Kids are going to make supply and demand curves, which really is what college level courses do, is they start to make their supply and demand curves and look for equilibriums. Our kids are going to do some of that. Then we'll turn it around after supply and demand and opportunity cost, and we will start looking at credit and our uses of credit. What are the good uses of credit, the bad uses of credit? What am I going to do with that credit card once I have one? Should I get a credit card? How do credit card companies suck me in to get me to use the credit? And we'll take a look at what I call the payback trap. If you only pay back the minimum amount on your credit card, how long it takes you and how much money you end up giving those companies that give out the credit cards. So we'll take a look at that, as well as mortgages and things and car loans. We'll also then turn around and have a small debate on raising the minimum wage. Should we or shouldn't we? When I started this years ago, it was, oh my God, are they going to raise the minimum wage up to $8? Then it was at $10.10, and now they're talking $15. What are the ramifications, good or bad? And I don't care which way you feel. What are the good or bad? We'll do some research and let the kids have a discussion on that. Once we've finished on minimum wage, we come around to the last part of the year, which I call life economics. In life economics, the kids are going to get a job, get a salary, get a monthly paycheck. I realize most jobs pay every 2 weeks. We're going to go a monthly salary. And they're going to take that monthly salary, they're going to find a place to live, either renting or buying. We'll discuss what are the pros and cons of renting versus buying. Then we'll talk about transportation, a new car versus a used car, versus some kids go for motorcycles. Some kids want to get a bicycle here in Wisconsin. I say, yeah, wintertime might be a little hard. Then after they get a place to live, they get their transportation, they got to pay for groceries, if they want their cell phone. We talk insurance and the cost of insurance and the different types of insurance. It goes on, hopefully, all the bills that moms and dads, grandmas and grandpas, aunts, uncles, everyone's got to pay. And they start to find out what it costs to live to be an adult. Like I say, I call that my life economics. And these all match in on standards in the state of Wisconsin. So that will bring us to the end of the school year. Well, everybody, that is it. That's 7th grade social studies in a nutshell. Hopefully you'll find this a little bit informative. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to ask. If you have an area of expertise in anything that we've talked about, contact me. I'd love to have a guest speaker as long as we're able to have them, and let it roll from there. Other than that, I look forward to a great year, getting to know your kids. Hopefully you'll hear my name in a positive manner as the year goes on. And the biggest thing I can tell parents throughout the year is, if you have any questions, any at all, anything, please feel free to ask. Contact me, be it an email or phone call, whatever. But let's get it fired up there. I'm available before school, after school. Our goal is to have your kids be successful this year. All right, let's have a great year, everybody. We'll see you soon.